We're just walking out of Azofra, which is a lovely little agricultural village with a couple of bars and locals, and I thought we'd actually got past the fields of poppies, but this field says differently. Look at that. A glass of wine in Azofra is €1, and it's a decent sized wine glass, and it's filled right to the top. So it'd be like 2 glasses of wine at home. But then I guess we're in the middle of Rioja. I can see the snow on the mountain up over there. They've got a ski resort. I don't know whether there's one or not, but they have a ski resort in Rioja. That's on the little booklet. Oh, had some rain last night. So it's wet this morning. It's looking alright. I think the day's going to be okay. Nice cold start. The day's nice. Well, cold for Spain. First one of these irrigation channels we've seen working. Here, so you've got a cloud version over there. Clearing up. Cracking walking day. Talking to a coal miner, English coal miner. I'm not quite sure where he's mining, but we're talking about the coal miners' strikes. His pit voted to continue working, and then the Scargill overrode it and said, no, they're out on strike. And he kept on working, only 15 of them, I think. His job was to stop the roof and the floor converging on the pits. And he was just talking about how brutal it was. One of his mates was working as well, and they went and skinned his cat and pinned the fur of the cat on the lounge wall. And he said when he went into town, the other miners would try to bottle him at pretty brutal times. He's got a lung capacity of 80% for working his life down in the coal mines, and I kind of assumed that over time that would improve, but apparently not. That's just what it is. Coal dust has done what it's done. And he said, working in the mines, he got used to the fact that every now and again you'd lose a friend. One day they'd be there, next day they wouldn't. That's a tough life. I don't know where our Camino goes. I think we might be following. I can see him going down here. Edge the motorway again for a bit this morning. Next to the motorway again. Of course, the railways and the canals and the motorways find the easiest topographical route through the world, and I guess that's why Camino's doing the same. We walk along next to it for a bit, and then we'll be away from it a bit. We met an interesting character yesterday from California. Can't remember his name. Probably a good idea. Really nice soul, but he's in his mid-20s, aiming to retire by the time he's 30, and well on the way allegedly. And his business is drugs. He goes and grows cannabis on quite a big scale, and big into mushrooms. Allegedly got a degree in chemistry and psychology. Seemed like quite a bright bunny. Seemed to be quite high. Reminded me a bit of the guy on the way, the Dutch guy that was offering people cannabis. I think this guy from California might be a bit more of a business model. Might be selling his. That seemed to be a bit high when we were talking to him. Interesting character. He's going to go and surf his Camino journeys, to go and surf the 10-metre waves in Portugal. Oh, that takes some balls. I didn't realise they wear a jacket, a bit like when you go off-piste skiing. And so if you get forced down, you pull the cord and a big air balloon inflates on your back, help bring you to the surface, and then of course you're reliant on the jet ski to come pick you up before the next beast comes in. Not for me. That river we were following was a natural course, but it's part of the irrigation system. Just going to work winding a fairway up into the distance there. I'm sure that's our trail. Although I can't see any pilgrims. There's not many of us on the trail. Well, we're off, not off route, but we've stopped mid between two sort of start and stop places that most people would do. So most people will either be behind us, there's a few coming up here now, or in front of us. Of course that's the case all the way through the, well, there's bee huts, not quite sure what they were used for. We went inside one yesterday. It's nice when you approach a summit that we're normally treated to a change in sort of scenery. Quite often the agricultural systems change a bit and topography changes a bit. We'll see when we get to the top of this one. It's funny, we've been going through lots of fields of wheat and barley, of big fancy irrigation systems. Not that this one's got one, but we suddenly got a field of vines and then the mountains in the distance. It was cool. But, it's interesting. I love speaking to people on the trail. So we were speaking to a lady last night. I think she was Dutch, and she'd found a house in southern Spain in the mountains. I mean, really serious mountains, and that she showed us. And she was, I think, pretty much set on buying that one. A couple $100 grand, 170 meters squared, I think. Absolutely impeccable position, incredible terrace looking out on the mountains and a lake below. That I think quite a people walk the Camino for, trying to find what they're going to do next. I think for her, she'd found it. And when we were watching Michael Patillo, he did a week on the Camino, and a week was enough for him. He was asked if the Conservatives have lost the election with Maggie. He said he even had a telephone call or a message from Maggie saying, let's start preparing for the next 10 years. And it was like, actually no, a week on the Camino was enough for Michael. He decided that his chapter of politics had come to an end. Isn't that great with all the grapevines and stuff? We were blessed today that this section would be quite tough if it had been really hot. Is it no shade? There are lots of young kids that walk in the Camino. I think for them it's an adventure. Really big social. I was thinking, the Camino shows actually were all incredibly similar, but a Dutch guy said to me, no, it's people with a similar interest in life that come and walk the Camino. And so we have a shared experience of the Camino and shared sort of reverence in nature and enjoyment of doing something physically tough. It's like, oh yeah, I get that. And then we come across them. They haven't shared them with us, but you come across people that are clearly trying to go through some difficult stage in life. So the Camino's a 6-7 weeks of counselling. For us, it's well, for me, it's enjoyment of being out in this beautiful landscape. And I love talking to people from different cultures that and we're kind of blessed that English is the main language that everybody seems to speak, which good old lazy English people, eh? Where, I'm listening to Miss Spanish, Michelle Thomas tapes trying to improve my Spanish, but a combination of my dyslexia and I like Michelle Thomas's method, but his kind of tone is quite amazing in the way that he talks to you. So sort of half an hour is about a maximum I can do, maybe a couple of times a day. And if anything, it's shown me how good my French is, which is actually rubbish. He keeps asking you questions, and I think, oh, I know the answer to that in French. But it's coming. A new flower plant to identify for a little while. This is blue thistle. Rather grand. I like blue thistle. Look at this. A rest area with sunbeds. How cool. Oh, we got a village. Ah, coffee would be good. Had a banging coffee this morning. But that was a little one. Yeah, it's 9 o'clock. Started walking probably about 7, I suppose. But another cortado. We definitely hit the spot. If you're a little seed rape, a bit better than Caleb's. Deer fencing. I remember doing a bit of research yesterday on today's walk, and we go past a very posh cafe at the golf club, which has not got that great reviews. Maybe people's expectations were too high. Loving the mist on the hills above. Doesn't that look magic? But slightly off trail is a cafe in the village, and that looks banging. A little local one, so that's going to be cool. This is a strange place.
Reminds me of that town by that lighthouse.
Oh, okay. For me, it's that. What's that American film where there's one guy and he's living there, and actually everyone else is actors, and his whole life is kind of staged, and the only person that doesn't know that it's not real is the one guy. I can't remember what it's called. That looks all kind of fake. There we go. I had to Google it. Google's quite amazing. The Truman Show. That's what this place reminds me of. I don't know. It just doesn't. Seems too twee. Golf course was immaculate. Oh, a few people playing golf. Right, so I did see that there's a local cafe, so I'm going to start videoing and find that on my map, because I think it's slightly off route. Lovely swimming pool, green, lovely park, not a soul to be seen anywhere. Ready to start filming whatever the Spanish equivalent is of the Truman Show. I wonder maybe it was a kind of like a holiday resort or something. There's a few people that look like they live here, but not very many. Found 2CV. There we go, and break her loose. She can escape. A very twee 2CV. A similar place at Los Arcos where we stayed, and lovely old town, one with the goats and the kids and ducks and geese, no geese and dog and bits and pieces became in the village, but the town was absolutely immaculate, but didn't really have anything there. And then in the square it was just the pilgrims. And I was chatting to a guy from Seattle the next day in the Alberge, and he was saying it was like a movie set, and I hadn't thought about it at the time, but it really was. It was we were walking down the streets and everything was immaculate, And when you went up and you looked out the back window over the village, you actually saw that actually a few of them were preserved facades. A bit like, I guess they've done next to with the hotel there and the cathedral yard that's burnt out. They've gone to great efforts to try and preserve the facade there. But a lot of buildings falling down, which you couldn't see when you're walking along the streets. And the place was just dead. I guess a movie set. This place is, I don't know, even weirder. It's a purpose-built town, but nobody living. Well, a few people. Money, it's got everything. Can't quite figure out the stadium. Lovely stadium, I can't see. But I was expecting a football pitch in front of it. Maybe it's actually just an indoor one, protecting from the sun. Actually, we're going into a bit of an old village now. I think this is where the bar is. This looks nicer. Looks like a nice alberge. Isn't that blue gorgeous? I like the yellow, but it's taken me a long time to realise it's that foam insulation that you spray on there, and I think it reacts to the air and the sun, but it does produce quite a nice yellow insulating the side of your house. I like a little practice. I was actually thinking, I'm wondering whether it's fungicide that they're spraying on the, well, I don't know, there's grapevines around here, can't be anything else. Just had a banging coffee. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 8. So much so I had 2. And it's a cafe con leche, which is usually the weaker of the two, but quite interesting that they've got to build a concrete bit before the tiles, big heavy roofs. It's nice down the little agricultural village next to that strange Trump show place just down there. Bar Jacob. We've had to walk a little bit off trail to get here, along with a lot of other fellow pilgrims. I think this must be hops. Let's go and have a look. Big eye. Not sure. Kent grows lots of hops. Used to. Is that what we got? I'm not sure. I'm going to have to go and use my little app to tell me what it is. Common hops. I thought so. Just the high trellis was a giveaway. Big cornfields. I'm loving the cornflowers. Kneeling down and getting back up again. Yeah, you can't see it, but big rolling hills, not really hills, but countryside. That you could see for quite some distance from our gravel path disappearing off. It's a perfect day for sort of walking. Over the top of the next rise, and the landscape's getting bigger. It's preparing us for the Masaka? What was it called?
Meseta.
Meseta, there we go. The big agricultural plains we're going to be doing. They're beachy in their own right. I think this is the town we're staying at, isn't it? Yeah. Milk thistle. So I think these are the really big beasties. I mean, they get up dinner plate size that you see on dried on lots of people's doors and turned into blacksmiths make, so they make clay and wrought iron versions of the same thing. Wow. There's a dead straight road. We're walking on concrete, relatively common. So it's concrete, and then they've gone and put some sort of press on the top to give it a pattern of a stone. It's actually all right. Quite pleasant to walk on. And then gone to some work, but then I guess I thought 300,000 people walk the Camino each year, but someone was telling me that it's 450 that are predicting this year. But then I was checking to somebody else, and they said actually they'd read some figures that 500,000 people had walked it last year. Definitely it's on the up. But, and I can see why. It's awesome. It's just really nice. Lovely walking through the countryside. I love cycling, but I'm not so keen on the cyclists that go whizzing past. I mean, it's a cracking cycling surface, isn't it? But other than the fact that you can see that there's pilgrims in the way all the time. And the pilgrims, you come on us too quick. God, you can really see that milky thistle there, can't you, on the leaves. I'm missing the what am I missing? House martins. Not missing house martins, swallows, and swifts. There we go. It's the swifts. That's what I'm missing. But we've had maybe a week of walking with the swifts. That was just lovely, especially in the evening when they do their screech and they go and sort of do big displays around the towns. The sculpture looked cool, and then as you drop down and it gets you get the silhouette out in the sky, it looks better and better. Nice. There we go, we did a bit of Googling. Purple Viper's Bugloss. That flower I just showed you a minute ago. So if you look up one bit and it, swifts, I haven't seen swift races. That's good. And the stiff hairs can cause skin rashes, and it's toxic to horses. And yet, if you look up medicinal use, it has a long history of medicinal use for skin rashes and respiratory diseases. But Kerry said apparently that's not unusual with homeopathy. You use sort of kind of like for like. But, there we go. Getting lots of cornflowers. They're beautiful. So this is the church cathedral that's going to have the chicken or the cockerel in there. We'll see what that's like. Common fumitory. Looks anything but common. Looks gorgeous. How cool is that? How nuts is that? Just going and googling that. So common fumitory. That lovely pink flower we just saw. Another common name for it is fumewort, because if you get the sap in your eye, it has the same effect as getting smoke in your eye. And yet it's a common treatment for conjunctivitis. It's like a side effect that sort of defies logic, really. You put it in there and it's like getting smoke in your eye, but actually it's a treatment for conjunctivitis. There we go. Learn something new every day. Santo Domingo de la Cruza, something like that. So we're stopping with a cockerel. Went through a big potato warehouse on the way in. Normal industrial suburbs. Lots of tractors. 2 nice John Deere tractors when I was a lad. John Deere's were the tractors to drive because they had the nicest cab. But, really good visibility around the cab, really comfy. Radio, aircon, all those sort of things. Of course, all tractors have those now. And I read a thing a long time ago, had a really strong following in America, because when they went through the Depression, most of the farmers buy their machinery on finance. Super expensive now, eh? I was just reading one the other day. Somebody bought a small tractor that cost him €40,000. That he just finished paying for. The same tractor now is €130,000. So in 5 years, just nuts. Right, but anyhow, John did a really cool thing when they went into depression in America. They turned around to the farmers and said, look, we appreciate you can't afford to make your payments, that's fine, keep the tractor, keep farming, and as and when things get better, you can start making repayments again. And so consequently in America, for a long period of time, John Deere had a huge following because the company supported the farmers. But I haven't quite figured out what it is, but something's happened more recently where it's gone the other way. Rather than American farmers supporting John Deere, they're actually quite adamantly against them. And so they must have made a bit of a clangor somewhere along the way. I'll have to find out what that is. Try Googling it, I'll see what I get. Just looking pretty. I love these things if you get a chance to stand on them when they're coming back up again. There we go. I did a quick Google on why farmers are cheesed off with John Deere at the moment, and oh my goodness, that opened up a can of worms. They are out for John Deere. So what it is John Deere doesn't make the software, it's electronic these days, isn't it, available to the farmers, and so all the maintenance has to be done through the dealers, which charge an arm and a leg, and so all the goodwill they gained during the Depression has gone out the window now, and there's a real war cry against John Deere, sort of a monopoly on the maintenance of their tractors and charging huge amounts of money to maintain them. Wow, this is impressive. Let's go and see the cockerels. That's why we're coming here. We want to see the rooster. It's an impressive cathedral. Paid us €5, so I think we get roast chicken as well. They like their elaborate, well, I guess they're church. Definitely not a church. Anyway. Wow. Goodness. Where is he? No, he'll be happy until I see the cockerel. Oh. Haven't found him yet. Oh my goodness. Well, I can say I hope the locals didn't go hungry, because the church wasn't sure what I bother to. Couldn't for the life of me figure out where he was. There he is. Awesome. Definitely my sort of church. Looks like a happy chap. You can see the decorations on the side. I think he's coming out because he wants some female company. Go and upset the clergy. Or they're going to put you in shackles. Well, there's some impressive mosaics. Wow. There we go. That's pretty cool. I want to find out who's in here. It's a big old thing. It's a lovely old town. But look at this. That is looking well iffy. Actually beautiful old houses. Look at it from the front. She looks almost missed that bulge where the front's going. So this is quite a nice little city. Oh, actually lots of shops. Just normal shops for normal people. I think I'm to be walking in this one just in a minute. And this is tomorrow's weather forecast. And then what it'll be is that in 5 minutes time, the sun will be out again. Good waterproof day tomorrow.